Hey guys, it's TEW2016 here with another TNA Making an Impact episode. We have another pay-per-view and today it is Victory Road. Now this is our last pay-per-view on the road to lockdown, so we've got a good 6-week stint coming out of this and hopefully we can put on a great pay-per-view here and have a good build-up going into that one because I want to make that kind of like what TNA should really see SummerSlam beat as the second big pay-per-view of the year behind Bound for Glory. So 16 segments today, a lot of matches. I might be looking at extending the length of pay-per-views just because of the depth of the roster we have. And of course, if we get more people winning on pay-per-view, it means it's going to give them a little bump to their overness. So hopefully it's a good show. As I say, as always, we'll explain stuff as we go along. A lot of storylines you know about, a few things we've added to in this episode regarding certain feuds. Overall, I'm hoping this succeeds. This is another solid pay-per-view, and as we continue our rise to hopefully making national very soon. So here we go guys, this is TNA Victory Road 2017. So, 10,944 at the Oklahoma State Fair Arena. So that's pretty good for TNA. I don't think they'll get anything close to that anytime soon. And we start the show, as I do with every pay-per-view that I do in this series and in the WWE series. We have the hype video with our main event. And of course we have pyrotechnics and the usual introduction from the announce team, of course, which is Mike Tenay and Lenny Leonard. So hype video, hyping up this feud we've got going between Fergal Devitt, Magnus and Drew Galloway, the Irishman, the Englishman and the Scotsman. A case of we can't really seem to get a winner between Magnus and Drew. Both guys then became #1 contenders and they will challenge Devitt tonight to see who is the true TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So a C62 for that opening, not the greatest. The UK and more storyline has advanced for this segment, and it did lose a little bit of heat. Our opening contest of the day was the debut, and it was Argenis, or Argenis, however we're going to pronounce this, we'll go with Argenis. He makes his debut. As I say, we're looking to bring someone in to face Ricochet and just change up the X Division, and it was a decent matchup where Argenis defeats Ricochet in 950 by pinfall while using the ropes for leverage. Argenis becomes the X Division champion. I will say if I have butchered that pronunciation, please let me know in the comment section and I'll look to amend that. We don't want a whole case of the series of TNA in 2013 where Ricochet was pronounced completely wrong, as was Nakamura, because I kept referring him to the Celtic version. So say, let me know how you think with that pronunciation, but I say I just wanted a heel champion in the X Division that wasn't Kenny Omega. I think, the idea is that Ricochet and Kenny Omega are not going to stay in the X Division for long. I do want to push them up the card. So this is a kind of possible feud that takes away the championship from Ricochet. And of course, Bulge will start in the process. So a C-59 is okay. Argenis debuts his turncoat gimmick. He got an initial rating of above average, which is good. Got the crowd hotter. Ricochet with 63, Argenis with 49. No skill improvements here. Only negatives was the inconsistency and the motivation of Argenis, but again, it's a decent opener for the X Division Championship. And after the matchup, he just goes an over-the-top celebration, just rubbing insult to injury that he is the new TNA X Division Champion. Just a 1 negative and a D-39. Next up and about, they had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. The team of Mike Bennett and Brian Cage defeated Bobby Lashley and Stu Barrett in 13:46, when Mike Bennett defeated Bobby Lashley by pinfall with the photo finish. During the matchup, we had Stu Barrett turn on Bobby Lashley. So it's a C-58 rating of a match, so it's not great. But as you'll know, Lashley and Barrett were in a feud just before Barrett got injured, so obviously Lashley was a bit suspicious on Barrett coming back here, and of course he's decided to turn on him on the big occasion. So Bobby Lashley continues to have no friends here, get Barrett turning on him, Mysterio getting popped for wellness violations, while Bennett and Cage continue to show excellent chemistry together. Got the crowd hotter again. Stu Barrett with a 70, a 72 for Lashley, a 58 for Brian Cage, and a 66 for Mike Bennett. And the storyline continues, but it lost a bit of heat. Obviously, we'll split away now. Mike Bennett and Brian Cage away from them, while Barrett and Lashley will do their thing. Lashley improving technical skills, negative perspective. Quite a few there for Brian Cage, and of course the odd face heel combination, but it made sense from a storyline perspective. And after the matchup, basically Barrett just beats down Lashley. So basic there, C plus 70, signalling that that's the feud we're going to be going on from now on. Next up, of course, we said we're going to have some big tag team matchup, and we decided to have a fatal 4-way elimination match for the tag team championships. It was about that had decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat, and it saw the Decay retain against the BC, the Tribunal, and the Bromen. In 10:30, the Tribunal went first, then the Bromen, then the BC. The Decay make the third defence of the tag team championships, a C64. I feel we do need to boost the tag division a little bit. I did want to take Bobby Roode away from James Storm, but I do feel we need some other tag teams just to add a bit more depth in here. The problem is the BC are always going to be a part of this, and it's just trying to keep certain teams apart and have some fresh matchups going forward. As I say, decent rating here. Robbie E off his game. Rosemary doing some good work at ringside. Basil Baraka, not suited to his gimmick. A 36 for Robbie E, a 34 for Jesse. Compare that to a 74 for Nick Jackson, 69 for Matt. Baron Dax with a 42 and a 38 for Basil Baraka. But the champions, Abyss with a 72. And Crazy Steve puts in a 51, just showing that he's slowly but surely getting over and getting a bit of a boost in his in-ring stats. That's good to see. A few negatives there as to be expected, but that's pretty decent for our tag team division at the moment. Admittedly, not our strongest. Next up, we've got MVP Backstage, and he is requesting to be put in a match against Shibata for the National Championship. Now, although the text says it's a single match, Shibata has been in this kind of rivalry with both of the American Wolves. So now tonight, with Carly accepting this request from MVP, it is going to be Davey Richards versus Eddie Edwards versus MVP versus Shibata for the TNA National Championship. So just giving someone else an opportunity on pay-per-view. So it's a D plus 50. Quite happy with that. MVP's morale only negative, plus his poor momentum. That'll happen later on tonight. Next up, we had some 8-woman action. We have a debutante as well, and it was about that had some subpar wrestling and little heat, and it was the team of Ali, Jade, Kellyanne English, and the debuting Liviani. Shocking change of her name there from WWE. They defeated the team of Britannia Knight, Tanya, Sienna, and Madison Rain in 13:33 when Ali defeated Madison Rain with the sit-out facebuster. Again, just try to really build up this Knockouts division. As I say, a lot of them are still young, so they're all going to develop together. So there'll be a lot of poor performances, but it's just try to build as many of them up as possible. So down the line, we could be looking at some really good matchups here. But a D plus 51. Jade not suited to her gimmick. Liviani debuted an old school face gimmick, which only got below average. She get 32, as did Kellyanne English. A 50 for Jade, a 37 for Ali, 43 for Madison Rain, 40 for Tanya, 48 for Sienna, and a 58 for Britannia Knight. It continues the Knockout storyline. I think everybody knows the direction we're going here. We're going to have one big massive matchup at Lockdown, and then after that we'll split the Knockouts division into a few different tiers. But I feel at the moment we just have to try and get this big matchup happening at Lockdown. Disappointingly, a lot of the women were holding back there, which was always going to dent a bit of the match rating. So that could have possibly been maybe pushing into the C minuses if we were lucky there. Next up, we've got a hype video for the matchup between Adam Cole and Kenny Omega. Disappointingly, only gets a D47. Obviously, just the tensions between them before the BC just snapped. Kenny Omega and Yujiro Takahashi decided to turn on Adam Cole. The matchup itself wasn't great. Actually, a lot of matches are actually struggling today. But it was a decent matchup, and Kenny Omega defeated Adam Cole in 14:48 by pinfall after using a foreign object. That object wasn't Takahashi, but he did distract Adam Cole at one point during the match. C-59, these two are capable of a lot better. Cole was slowed down by his injury. Omega with a 50, Cole with a 66. Continues their storyline and lost a bit of heat. Obviously, this storyline will continue. We did have to make Adam Cole look strong, which I think could be a reason why this was a little dent on the rating there. But maybe again stamina issues, Adam Cole working injured, going all out for 15 minutes, that could have been the cause of it. So, stuff we look at and we look to improve, and hopefully next time they'll get a far better rating together. And after the matchup, we just see Kenny Omega and Yujiro just beat down Adam Cole, just to add a bit more heat and show this feud is still not over. So C6 to 1. It's very basic, but I just feel the beatdowns just add a bit of heat. Or maybe it's just because we're seeing this too often in WWE at the moment, which is reflecting on my booking. Next up and about, they had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. We saw Shibata defeat Eddie Edwards, Davey Richards and MVP in 12:21 when Shibata defeated MVP by pinfall, making the 7th defence of his TNA National Championship. MVP was a weak link, but it was a very good B78 matchup. Davey Richards was 71, Eddie Edwards was 70, MVP was 60, Shibata was 75. I'm at that way with the Wolves. As much as our tag division needs them, I do want to try and let them go their separate ways. It's just I don't want them as opponents just yet. I feel like they've got a long way to go as single competitors, as babyfaces. But unsuccessful in this attempt against Shibata, and that was a improvement in technical skills for MVP. And a few negatives there, but nothing to be too worried about there. I feel like down the line this could easily scrape into the B pluses, so a lot of faith with these lot going forward. Next up, we've got a promo with the GOAT, Chris Jericho, about his match with Bram and Jeff Hardy. Just really saying, Bram, you've got problems with me. Jeff Hardy's got problems with you. You know, this is just going to be a complete ass kicking for you. And that gets an A94. Storyline gained a bit of heat, and the performance of Jericho was amazing. Match itself, we actually dragged a good match out of Jeff Hardy, which is good, and it was about that had great heat and good wrestling, as Chris Jericho defeated Bram and Jeff in 17:39, when Jericho defeated Bram by submission with the Walls of Jericho. Jeff was a weak link here. It was a case of I would have wanted to put Jeff over, but Jericho wouldn't have done the job, and I just felt like the moment, let's just keep Chris Jericho as strong as possible, and we can figure out what we want to do with Jeff and Bram going forward. I do have big plans for Jeff, it's just waiting a bit of time, and then that plan will come to a head. But a B80 is a great performance from all three. Jericho in 80, Bram 73, Jeff there 57. Storyline advances, but that'll probably be the end of it with Jericho and Bram. The negative there. None for Jeff Hardy, who'd have thought, only Jericho's declining physical ability. Next up in a good matchup, we saw EC3 defeat Bobby Roode in 18:11 by pinfall with a handful of tights. Just really give these two something to do, keeping EC3 look strong. Unfortunately, these two didn't click, but they still got a B-75. So because it didn't click, that would have hampered their performance, so it could have been a lot better. Roode with the 67, Carter with the 72. Roode is improving his performance skills though. Overall, just the chemistry took that away from being probably a B+, I would have said there. I think it would have really been that good. And that leads us to our main event. We ran out of time, so no promos, straight into the matchup. And it was about that had some great wrestling and good heat. And it saw Fergal Devitt defeat Drew Galloway and Magnus in 20:39 when Fergal Devitt defeated Drew Galloway by pinfall via Shingata's Prince's Throne. Fergal Devitt makes the 5th defence of the TNA World Heavyweight title, and he carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. So obviously that boost from going over Jericho has helped him. A B82, Devitt an in-ring performance of 83, Galloway and Magnus 67. It's really just to try and help promote them up to the top tier. A good match nonetheless. It continues the storyline and gained it a bit of heat. Only negatives there, the inconsistencies of Drew and Fergal. And overall, a solid B80 rating where we have increased our popularity in all the regions that we broadcast in. So just MVP is going to get encouraged to get his morale up. But I say just the one new champion, and that is Argenis for the X Division. We obviously have a turn there in the match between Bennett and Cage, Lashley and Barrett. Decay survive, our face knockouts win, Kenny Omega winning, Shibata, Jericho, EC3 and Devitt. It's a lot of people pushing for positions going into lockdown. As I say, we'll have a lot of multi-person matches there, and we'll see what we're going to do with the World Championship. I have an idea. I've got 2 ideas of what I want to do. I'll probably see by the time I get to book Impact. But overall, a B80, pretty happy with that. And as I say, we raise the morale a little bit there of MVP. So Triple H is likely to get a new contract with WWE. As much as I'd love to poach him and bring him with TNA, we need to keep it a bit realistic, and I don't think he would sign anyway. See if there's anything here. Kenny Williams staying with ICW. Let's have a look here. We drew 10,000, only 11,000 fans, as I said, and the feedback was excellent, and we struck gold with the show. Mysterio's back, so that's good to see that he'll be back right in time for a run towards lockdown, although his overness is not great in the US, so I may look to put him down to upper mid card and job him out. A 0.41 on pay-per-view and a 0.05 on TV for the pay-per-view, so we still need to look at better pay-per-view deals, but at the moment this is what we landed with until we get to national and get a bit bigger, and 9k on our drug testing. But again, 42 prestige, momentum is now up at 71, so that continues to improve. Nearly 8 million in our finances, that'll drop a good bit. I would say that'll drop to probably 7.5 if we go with the average of the way our thingies have been going, our profits. But still, considering we started the save with 1 million in the bank, and the fact we're going to be at 7.5 with all these big contracts means we can just keep going this way, keep on improving. As I say, it's good to see we're getting the places like the Midwest up to 62 and then Northwest at 60. So we just need to try and make sure a lot of these are getting there, getting to 60, then we can focus on getting to 65 because we do need 8 of these regions to get there before we get to national. Overall, pretty good. I was happy with that. So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. If you get any feedback on the show, let me know. What was your favourite match? What do you feel like should have done better, or what do you think surpassed your expectations? What kind of people would you like to see getting pushed in the future? Let me know, as I say below. Let me know how your own saves are getting on, and if you've managed in TNA yourself, who you've brought in. It's always nice to compare rosters because a lot of people go completely different ways. But say thanks always for watching. Say any likes, comments, subscriptions, all that jazz is all deeply appreciated. And then you can jump on the TW hype, either getting involved on the Grey Dog software forums or on the Fantasy Booker subreddit. Get involved. We get a nice wee community on the go. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Deeply appreciated. Hopefully I'll see you next time as we're on the road to TNA Lockdown. Bye bye.